I had a nickel for every time French developers released a banger AA game this year.
I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Well, technically, Rogue Factor, the developers, are in Canada, not France. Yeah, and it's technically not my fault. Your mother comes crawling into my room every night. Anyway. Hell Is Us is a game for true intellectuals. The story opens with an interrogation. There's no spoon-fed narration, no expository cutscene explaining the entire setting. Just a strange, big-jowled dude interrogating another guy. And I'll, of course, try not to spoil too much. Just know that you play as Todd Howard, after illegally entering the country of Hadia when he scams the IRS to pay for Fallout Season 2, and wakes up in a strange new land with no minimap and no quest markers. The country currently has a genocidal civil war between the Palamist and Sabinian religions. There are, of course, absolutely no parallels to real life. In fact, if you ask me, the Sabinians did nothing wrong. And there is no war in Hadia. So why not come on by and just enjoy the rich cultural history this country has to offer? Explore some of the local countryside scenery and well-preserved historical sites where they're offering a generous burial service to those from the other religion, where you can read the inspiring words of their predecessors firsthand. Visit the capital, meet some of the nation's leaders yourself. They even dedicated an entire area to Miyazaki's favorite terrain type. But perhaps the most striking feature of this country is the way those in the past have placed millions of puzzles for you to figure out on your own, and definitely not consult some magical oracles for their answers. I said this was a game for true intellectuals. I never said I was one of them. Okay. Truthfully, however, combat really isn't the focal point of this game. Game is closer to Blueprints than it is to Dark Souls. Combat takes a secondary role to paying attention to everything around you and taking notes. The biggest tip I have for you in this game, using this sick drone movement tech to get around faster if walking gets annoying. I tried using Cheat Engine to speed up the game, but Unreal Engine 5 does not seem to like that. This is definitely a Souls-lite, not a Souls-like. Even considering it a Souls-lite though, I'd have to consider the enemy variety. Definitely one of the weakest points of the game. It's just the fact that these white guys keep the same models when ranking up in difficulty. Even though they do get more dangerous new moves, it ends up being the same 5 guys on repeat after a while. There are a few cool boss fights later on, but they're more of a rare treat with an interesting stage and music that you'll probably beat rather quickly versus a promised consort Radon. On the plus side though, if you do get tired of killing the same guys over and over, you can eventually just turn their HP in the settings all the way down to 50%, which did a lot to assuage my puny attention span. The level of customization's pretty good. Most of these would need to be modded in one of Todd's games. And you know what? Once I did stop focusing as much on the combat, I started drinking in more of the environment, and the dialogue, and the realistic depictions of human suffering. Like a wise man once said, preoccupied with a single leaf, you won't see the tree. Preoccupied with a single tree, you'll miss the entire forest. Oh, that's weird. I wonder why the Sabinian soldiers left this lone Palaminian woman alive here on her own. Well, I'm sure they're treating her with the kindness a civilian deserves in war. Let's check out the sound design in this environment, where you can get a little taste of what it's like to be in eastern Ukraine at the moment. The game does start off slowly. Hell Is Us's misty Seneca Forest is a much less stimulating starting location compared to Expedition 33's Gomage Party in Lumiere. But if you pay attention to the textures, the lighting, the details, you can see that it's no less professional or polished. And you can tell that most of all because they've optimized Unreal Engine 5 to run like a dream on my poor little 4070 Super. Something few other companies haven't quite figured out yet. I have a few more complaints, like not being able to reach this fucking blacksmith from the front of his shop, and this annoying period of invulnerability after you kill a demon that breaks the flow of combat. But in the face of everything else they've accomplished, these are minor concerns. This was a very enjoyable, brief, cinematic, unique experience. I'd probably wait for it to go on sale though, so perhaps put it on the wish list. That's all for now. Dying Light Da Beast just came out, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far, so stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day.
Oh fucking hell. That's anticlimactic.